So far. So far.
Mm, so far, so good. I guess that's what it is.
The opening. We're getting straight to it on this one. Peace, y'all, and love to all. Gonna get this crumb. This is the gift for all. Rather, you believe or you choose not to believe. This is very important. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so baby, before we get there to the main menu, you know, when you get to the restaurant and you order your food, it don't come right instant. You have to sit for a second, and then it comes in and arrives. You might get your little appetizer till it comes. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give a little appetizer till number 19 comes right here. We're gonna deal with number 19, and right before we deal with 19, we're gonna deal with how we get to it. So when it comes to the truth, when it comes to the truth, when it comes to the truth that will make you free, we got to do this right and proper. Now, this is peace and love to all, and no form of disrespect to any. This is just the truth, blunt. The birth name of Jesus by Miriam is Yahu Saya. This is the hidden name that's been hidden from everyone. The Jesus, the Yahshuas, the Yahushais, the Yahu Shai, it's all coming from this original birth name of Jesus, Yahu. Now, why we haven't been told about Yahu? The reason you have to understand historical context also with cultural awareness and with a linguistic foundation. This is where we get the Jesus to Yeshua to Jesus, all these being his name, by others that was around him in that time. What Miriam and Yusuf, known as Joseph, gave Jesus the birth name Yahu. I'm going to show you without a shadow of a doubt that Joseph was Jesus' father. And the significance of it to bring you home to the final revelation. So we're going to start with an act of remembrance. Did Yahushua say he would fulfill the law of the prophets? And that answer is yes. So we got to get right to it. The law of the prophets was carried on by the law of Moses. This is where we have to really understand history. So this is why the fulfillment of the law of the prophets is very important. By fulfilling the law, Jesus acted as the ultimate interpreter and embodiment of Yah's will. The law of Moses revealed Yah's holiness and provided guidelines for righteous living. But it also pointed forward to the need for salvation through Christ. Through his life, teachings, and sacrifice, Jesus established a new covenant, internalizing God's law within believers and empowering them to live according to its spirit rather than merely its letter. This is very important because a time of literature or by the letter was all before Yahushua. when Yahushua came, everything was done in the spirit. Okay, so now we're going to come into why was Jesus born with the name Yahushua. The law of Moses is the beginning point where we truly need to understand of how you become truly in the name. Because after here, this is where it gets misconstrued. Right above Musa, again, we have Mary, Marial, Marah. Musa was of Marial. Or Marah. Musa was of the line of Marah. Marah get the word Mary from. So now when we go into Musa and you understand his story, what's very pivotal about the story is that he had a direct intervention with the Creator. And that direct intervention was the Creator telling Moses, Musa, who he was, what name he was going to use to save the Hebrews. So this is where we get the becoming of the pronouncing of the name of Creator, Yah. We need to know this real clear. So before Yahushua comes on the scene, this is why he's named Yahu. Because of Moses prior to Jesus. One thing I want to point out. That this is the indigenous name. I've said it many times on my channel. This is the indigenous name of the original first Americans. This is the first name that your own indigenous named themselves prior to any claim and false assertion of colonization. This is where you get the word America from. Mary and come. These two words, Marab and all do come. American, American. So what we want to understand is that the people who called and knew that we pre-existed is these people called Romans and Christians. I want you to listen to the name that I'm saying. Romans and Christians. So I want us to be clear. Romans and Christians. Okay. Romans and Christians, we heard, right? This is what we want to remember. No one became a Christian until Antioch. No one became a Christian, use the word Christian, until Antioch. So let the truth be now revealed concerning Antioch, the great city founded by who? Constantine. So the word Christian did not come into existence until Constantine. And Antioch is the site of the founding of Christianity. And the calling hence Christians. So when we hear about the Romans and the Christians called the ancient people Arab, not Mary or Maria, but Arab. So in order to be a Christian, you will have to be around the time of Antioch. And we know Constantine took floor from 313 up to the dome 325. By 313, Christian and Christianity was established. By 325, that is when the council to decree. Now, all this is important to you understanding the final revelation. So the first followers of Jesus was not called Christians. This is why this is very, very important. The first followers of Jesus were not Christians. So the first followers of Yah was not Christians. Here we come. The first followers of Yahushua was called the original Jewish disciples, apostles, and early believers in Yahushua, who were known by the designation in the book of Acts, who were known by this designation in the book of Acts before being called Christians in Antioch. This is very important because you are calling yourself, if you are calling yourself Christians, you are calling yourself something that Jesus did not call himself. So, who were the first followers of Jesus? This is what they call it, disciples. The first followers of Yah were primarily called disciples. We're talking about while he is alive, not no afterwards. We're talking about presence. The core group of 12 specifically chosen to spread his teachings are known as the apostles. This is where you get the disciples and the apostles, not Christians. So when we get specific to what apostles and what disciples are called, here we come. Before being called Christians, make sure this on the net. Before being called Christians, the first followers of Yah were known as followers of the way. Very distinct. The apostles, the disciples, were the first followers of Yah, known as the followers of the way. Not Christians, followers of the way. The way is going to become very critical into your understanding, to what you've been lied to all your life. So Moses, unbeknownst, was the Pharaoh of Egypt known as Akhenaten. Akhenaten, known as Musa, the Marab, the most powerful and wealthiest man in the world of his time, who jeopardized his own dynasty to follow the commands of Allah by a different name. Did we catch that? Before Jesus was born, Moses was present. Moses is called Moses and also Musa for a reason. This is where it's going to become real crispy. Akhenaten, or Musa, or Moses, or the Pharaoh of Egypt, who jeopardized his own dynasty to follow the commands of Allah by a different name. By a different name. By a different name. This is very important. So the exiled Pharaoh, who with his survivors built a city of knowledge upon the Syrian coast. So when you hear about the language of Aramaic, this will come out of the Syrian coast. So when you hear about Jesus spoke Aramaic, this is talking about the language that Moses was speaking, which he carried from the Marab al-Dukan, who in the Bible you know as the Canaanite language. So the survivors with Musa built a city of knowledge upon the Syrian coast, and this is where they disavowed his name to be called Moses and Musa as the rock of Allah. So the different name was given. So here we come to understanding who are these first followers of Jesus that is distinct from the Christians. You got to keep this in mind. Before being called Christians, the first followers of Yah were known as followers of the way. So we coming in before the birth of Yah, who's to what's already present before. And this is Musa, Moses, Akhenaten, the Pharaoh of Egypt. So the people who followed Musa was called Yahu. Da. Check this out, very clean. Let the truth be now revealed concerning the Yahudah. Number 5, the followers of Allah. The followers of Allah. The followers of Allah. By the different name that Musa gave Allah. What name did Musa give Allah? This is where you get Yahu way. Anything not making sense? Anything not making sense? The followers of Allah. Who was the followers of Allah? Yahudah. What did Yahudah follow the name of Allah? By what name? Yahuwah. Yahweh. Is the connection connected? Is the Wi-Fi up, y'all? Is your signal on? Because after this, you gonna know. But it's gonna be your choice after this to believe or not. But here is the ancient proof